Hi everyone, we're in the demo zone at AireCon 2025. We're here with Samuel from Misfit Hobbies. Samuel, welcome.
Thank you very much. Good to be here.
Yeah, is this your first AireCon?
First AireCon ever. Yeah.
Good journey over?
Yeah, actually it was. The sun was shining, which is like, as an Irish person, is very rare to see. So it was nice.
Perfect weather for a weekend indoors.
I know, it's been lovely. I haven't been able to enjoy the sun at all.
Yeah. Right, so you've got two things that you're showing off this weekend.
Yes.
You've got your Cryptborn, your new game.
Yeah.
And you've got the Adventurer's Guide to Alchemy, your
Absolutely.
new
TTRPG.
TTRPG.
Yeah.
Let's look at Cryptborn first. So why don't you tell us what that's all about?
Yeah, so Cryptborn is our first tabletop game. It's a solo, Souls-like, roll and write dungeon crawler. All of the keywords. But in essence, you play as the Cryptborn. You've been dead for a long time, buried in the castle. All of a sudden, you're rudely awakened by this mystical force that tells you, look, the castle is full of evil monsters, led by an evil Necromancer. If you kill all of them, I'll let you go back to being asleep again.
That's nice.
Yeah, and you're like, sure, no problem. So the way the game works, here's very Blue Peter-esque. Here's one we made earlier.
Yeah.
This is kind of our first level. It's in a small dungeon. And in a small dungeon, we have 3 rooms, a starting room, a middle room, and a boss room. For us, the key thing was that no playthrough will be the same.
Yeah.
Everything is relatively unique, and you'll design your dungeon, fill it with encounters through some encounter spawn tables, and then you just run it and try and survive. Yeah.
Right, so how do players generate the dungeon?
Yeah, so it basically all you need to play the game is a D6 and a pencil, or a pen, whichever one you prefer. We'll have a number of tables in the final game where you can refer back to. But in essence, between the starting room, and the middle room, it's joined by a hallway. If I want to see how long the hallway is, I roll a d6, and that's actually quite handy because this is 5 tiles long. So I would then draw 5 tiles, add the middle room, do the same thing for the final hallway, join the boss room. And then we would roll a dice for each tile to see what would spawn inside there. Yeah. So here we've got some loot. Nothing spawned in these, it's just a normal hallway. And then over here we have some combat. If we come across a combat encounter, as you'll see over here, there's quite handily exactly 6 enemies for us to fight against. If we see combat, we roll the dice. In this case, I would be fighting against the Ashen Watcher. The way that combat works in Cryptborn is that we have 12 health points. We deal 1 damage, and over here, this is all the information we need to know about the enemies. Yeah. So for the Ashen Watcher, it will attack us on a 5-up. It deals 1 damage. We will hit it on a 2-up, and it has 2 health points. Yeah. And we basically would roll a dice for us, roll a dice for them, see who hits. Oh my goodness. So the Ashen Watcher, actually I hit the Ashen Watcher on a 2. It hit me because it rolled a 6. And we keep rolling until one of us is dead.
Yeah. You resolve the combat the player first, don't you?
Always the player, because in essence we're the hero, as far as we're aware. And so the heroes always get to resolve their dice first.
Makes complete sense.
Yeah.
So in the full game, you were saying to us yesterday, it's going to have a nice book with lots of different pages in.
Yeah, so the final game will be a Wyro book. And the Wyro will always be at the top. I'm a left-handed person, so whenever you're having to work with Wyros, it's going to be a real pain in the butt. But Wyro at the top, you'll flip through. There'll be 60 levels at launch is what we're planning for. We've developed about 80% of those so far, so we're close to kind of being locked in. And yeah, hoping to launch on Kickstarter around the second half of this year.
Okay.
All being well.
So hopefully not long after UKG.
Hopefully not. We would have loved to have been launching like the week of UK Games Expo, but we don't want to rush it. So
wait until the game's a bit more developed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But if you're at UK Games Expo, we'll have the final prototypes there. So the Wyro books, you can see form factor, the final thing.
Excellent. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's Cryptborn. Now let's talk about the Adventurer's Guide to Alchemy.
Yes. So we're going to take a very sharp left turn.
Yeah.
Because obviously Cryptborn, we've got this like very grim, dark, very mysterious, deadly tabletop game, and then we transition to a very cutesy anime art style, which is a lot nicer. So we started at Misfit Hobbies by producing tabletop role-playing game zines for you to use as part of your games. This is kind of our extension of that. This is a cocktail and mocktail book for medieval fantasy role-playing games. And so there's 20 cocktails, 10 mocktails inside. This is a very rough early days sample of our book. And what we will be doing is, as part of the campaign for this, you'll get the cocktail book, but then you'll also get a kind of GM's guide that comes along with it. I've got an example of one of them in the appendix. So we are producing unique enemies, one-shots, and encounters that are based on the drinks. So if you see a drink you like, you can take the GM content for that drink, slot it into your next session, and as a reward to your players for completing it, you get to serve the actual drink. So it makes it a lot more of an immersive experience.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So what's the plan with this one?
Yeah, so Adventurer's Guide to Alchemy launches on Kickstarter on April 22nd.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we actually have a locked-in date for that. We're not moving it anymore, but Cryptborn, slightly more loose. We want to get this out of the way first and delivered and make sure that everything is finished before we start launching this one.
Excellent, okay.
But
if people want to find out more, where should they go online?
Yeah, so if you want to find out more about the Adventurer's Guide to Alchemy, you can go to get.misfithobbies.co.uk. For Cryptborn, slightly harder to find us. But in essence, if you go to our website, if you follow us on social media at just Misfit Hobbies, we'll be chatting about them all in due course.
Cool.
And check us out, UK Games Expo, because we'll be there with both of them.
Excellent.
Yeah.
We'll put links to everything for everyone down below. Have a safe trip home, Samuel. I hope, and we hope your first AireCon has been an enjoyable experience.
It's been fantastic. I'm tired. Very tired.
Bet you are.
But, you know, it's fantastic. Yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you in our next video.